so happy to be here with you this afternoon. This is part of my Tuesday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, a live tutorial. I do this just about every week for the most part, unless something's happening or going on. But today I have, oh, I forgot to grab the punch. Hold on, I got to go grab the deer punch. I knew I was going to forget it. Oh my goodness. Okay. So today I am making a super simple, clean and simple, which is kind of my thing, Christmas card. Okay. Hey, Angie, good afternoon. And Amy. Hello, ladies. I love to keep things super simple. That's just, I really find that so appealing with maybe some little details. And so this card here is pretty simple. I'm going to walk you through it. But what makes it kind of unique and different is the curved sentiment here. Hey, Karen and Patty, good afternoon. Thanks for coming on in. And I did some color on color matting here because I just have to have matting in almost all my cards. Rarely do I have a card that doesn't have some sort of matting on it. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through. We're going to get going and you're going to see just how quick and easy and it is to make this card. This would be very, very replicable. Okay, if you need to make like multiples, this is the card for you. Okay, so my card base is Real Red, which is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2 right down the middle. And I have a pattern from the Heartwarming Hugs Designer Series paper. This is a Designer Series paper that was in last year's mini catalog. Rarely do they carry over product, but they're starting to do that a little bit, and this carried over. It's beautiful. It has a nod to traditional Christmas colors. This is Real Red. I believe that's Old Olive, although I am using Garden Green. And then it has a little bit of Early Espresso. Really hard to see. It almost looks black, but that's Early Espresso. And this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It's going to go across the entire card front. So I'm a huge fan of Designer Series paper because it really does all the work for you. So simple card, right? Simple design, but pop a big piece of designer paper on this and suddenly it's like, okay, it adds a little detail to it. So don't let your Designer Series paper sit there. Use it. Put it on your cards. You could put a big piece of it, a big chunk of it with a sweet sentiment and a little detail, and you're good to go. Okay, so again, Heartwarming Hugs. It is in the mini catalog. It returned in this year's mini catalog. And then the next thing I'm going to do is take, if I can grab it here, a panel of, I have 2 panels of basic white. I love to do matting, and when I don't necessarily want to bring another color matting in, I'll do tone on tone. So here I'm doing basic white on basic white, just doing tone on tone. You don't really see it. It's not like necessarily an in-your-face element, but it is a nice little like, when you're holding it. Again, I love simple cards with little kind of details that just kind of elevate the card a little bit. You know what I mean? So this one here, I believe is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4, 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. And I'm just trying to think maybe I'll wait to do this. Maybe we'll wait. Okay, so put that aside. I'm getting ahead of myself. I went ahead and already cut out a circle. This is Garden Green. I love Real Red and Garden Green together. They're such a nice traditional Christmas color complementary to one another. This I cut out with the layering circles dies, and it's under a smidge under 2 1/2 wide. Okay, and I'm going to pull in the Peaceful Deer stamp set. This has so many great images, really, really fun. Honestly, it's a nod to Christmas, obviously with oh, what fun. But these images down here, you could use for just kind of everyday stamping. You could use it for nature cards and images and that sort of thing. So it really can go far beyond Christmas. Okay, we have 4 different size trees. I'm using the 3 smaller ones. I'm not using that tall guy there. And I'm going to do some color on color stamping. So I'm going to stamp in Garden Green on my Garden Green circle. And I'm going to stamp, oh, maybe I only used 2 of them. I think I only used 2 of them. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out what I did. No, I did, what did I do? Hold on, oh, I see what I did. I think I stamped that twice. I am trying to remember what I did this card before I left for my retreat. And so I'm trying to remember. Okay, I see what I did, I think. I Actually, I'm not really sure what I did. I have no idea what this one is. Oh, I didn't see that extra tree there. Okay, we're good. Yes. Woo! When you do it like, a week or so out, I forget honestly sometimes what I do. So I'm going to stamp the trio. So it goes kind of like medium, tall, short, the bigger of the three small ones. And that one's going to kind of go flush left. You could do this any way you want. Honestly, there's no rhyme or reason to it. What I wanted to do, though, is I wanted to make sure the trees were kind of on the outside, because if I put one tall here, he's going to kind of block it. You're not going to see it too well. So then I'm going to take my duo. This is short and tall. And I'm going to stamp that one flush right. Maybe up a little bit because he is a little smaller. And then I'm going to stamp the little guy that goes tall, short. This is the smallest of the trees. And I'm going to stamp him up and behind a little bit. He is smaller, so it's almost like he's in the distance a little bit. They're in the distance. There's two of them. Okay. And honestly, I considered adding some snowflakes, but I thought, you know me, I like less is more. But you could definitely, they have this great, snowflake kind of cluster image here. And I did consider adding that. So that may be an element you'd like to bring in. Then let me get my piece of basic white. I have just a scrap of basic white here. My grid paper is sliding all over the place. And I'm going to stamp him the deer. So we have a couple of deer options. We have these ones that could be colored in, or you can just do stamp them like on crumb cake or something like that. But I love this deer. This is my favorite one. Oh, what fun. The only thing that's missing is the rest of that sentiment. I really wish they had put the rest of that sentiment in. But we're going to stamp him in real red ink. Hopefully it comes out well. I was at a scrapbooking retreat this weekend, and we're in this big, gigantic room. They have two huge fireplaces. It just makes everything really dry. And ironically enough, my ink pads like pick up on that. They run a little bit on the dry side, and I think they're kind of recovering still. Okay, so there's our deer in real red ink, and I'm going to punch him out with our Deer Builder punch. This is a great punch, and punches are always, they make things just a little quicker because you can kind of slide them in and not have to fuss with them a bit. But really easy to use. So user-friendly. If you're just getting going, just starting out, punches are great. And I'm not using it. You're going to get lights. But I do have some antlers that are there as well. And then the little dot, if you want to make him Rudolph, you could give him a red nose. I'm not, but you could. Lots of options. And I'm going to put the deer right over my trees. I'm going to prop them up with some dimensionals because, again, a little added extra little something, something. So, again, my aesthetic, as my girls would say, is kind of simple designs, but with little cute elements. And just by adding these dimensionals, it does add a little extra something. So, how about there? Sorry, I got some fuzzies on me. Okay, so now we're going to do the sentiment, okay? The Merry Christmas. Now, if you're doing multiples of these, I would highly recommend using the Stamparatus. So you don't have to kind of fiddle with it a little bit too much. So if you're making multiples, definitely going to want to use your Stamparatus. It just will make it a little easier. Hey, Deborah from Ohio. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I'm not going to glue down my circle yet because I have a little bit of wiggle room. But as you'll see, my sentiment is straight, but I stamped it curved. And that is the brilliance of our photopolymer stamps. First, when you're using a photopolymer stamp, you can see through it. So I can get like perfect placement most of the time. I can see right through it and make sure I can get the good placement. But I can also maneuver the stamp to give me a curve. And all I do to do that is I kind of stick one end down, hold it down with my thumb, and literally just bend it. And then kind of give it a press because it's going to want to pop up. And I'm going to kind of play with it like, oh, that's pretty good. And do I need to adjust it? Is it too round? Is it too sharp a round edge? That is pretty good. Oh my goodness. When I did my sample, I probably had to fiddle with it about 5 or so times. But that is pretty spot on. Hello, Kathy from York, PA. I have a grandfather in Pennsylvania, and they always tease that only Pennsylvanians will call it PA. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. So you can literally just maneuver this any way you want. Any way you want. Now, it is going to naturally want to just stay straight. So you just kind of have to press it down. The block will, oh, that's way too sharp. The block, it was pretty good, and then I started messing with it. The block will hold it, but you're going to want to give it a little push. Oh, that's way too dramatic. See how you just kind of have to fiddle with it a little bit? And it may not be perfect, but as long as it's pretty good, you're good to go. I think I'm going to call that good enough. And here's the thing. I consider doing Merry Christmas and then maybe like it's the best time of the year down here. I thought it was like too much words, too many words. If I had used maybe the solid deer, I may want to do that. But words was almost a little too much. So something fun would be to try is to add the it's the best it's the best time of year down here with maybe one of the solid deer would be really cute and fun. Okie dokie. So I'm going to stamp it in Merry Christmas. Now, again, I haven't glued down my circle, so if I oops or whatever, I can just flip it over and try again. But I'm going to kind of guesstimate. Everybody hold your breath. Hold your breath that this works. Here we go. Oh, that is pretty darn good. Is she good or is she good? Okay, so there we go. Now, I also considered, I don't know, I kind of like things really sort of offset, so I like it kind of on the curve, but you could definitely put it like straight on top, Merry Christmas, and then maybe it's the best time of the year at the bottom or whatever. Like, have fun with it. It's just a fun way to do a sentiment, something a little, out of the ordinary, a little different. So, have fun with it. I'm going to adhere my circle down. I'm going to keep my deer. He's not like straight, but I do kind of like, have him going a little bit on an angle. Thanks, Kathy. Sometimes you try these things and you're like, well, it worked for me, my sample. Hopefully it'll keep working. You just never know with a live video what you're going to get. Okay, so I'm matting this. This was 3.5 by 4 3/4. This is 1/8 bigger. So 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. I do all my matting is just 1/8 bigger. So if you're ever wondering if I forget to say a measurement or whatever, I always mat 1/8 bigger. I am a very faithful, I like my matting a certain way. And so I always do it that way. Okay. This is going to go on our card front. We are almost done. I'm telling you, this card is so quick and simple. First of all, it's kind of my jam. And second of all, I was away this weekend. And so all my cards this week are pretty quick and simple because that's what time allotted for. I am going to adhere this down again with dimensionals because I just love it. I love dimensionals. They add a little extra design element without, being in your face crazy. Make sure my card is open correct. Gonna go straight on. We're almost done. If you had some fun embellishments, rhinestones, doodads, whatever, a bow, you could throw that on. I'm keeping it simple. And for the inside, I have a panel of 4. Oops, the antlers want to get on the card. 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to stamp one of the trees just in the right-hand corner. Which tree do I want to use? Let's use the bigger of them, the trio of trees. I'm going to stamp that right down here, keeping things super, super simple. I should throw a sentiment. I do like to throw a sentiment on the inside, although I didn't block one up. Let's see here. Let's do sending love and peace. Actually, did I do that on my sample? Oh, I did do that on my sample. I totally forgot I did that. Okay, so I'm just throwing the sending love and peace this season. We're just going to, I have it open still, so we'll just stay with garden green. Is that? Yep. And a little high but centered. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to just get some adhesive on this and throw it in the middle. Gently place, I should say. Okay, and then I'm going to do a quick envelope and we'll be done. I'm telling you, this card was so easy. You can easily make multiples. And yet, it's still a fun element. And you could definitely bedazzle this up more. I'm keeping things really clean, Really simple, but if you want, you could really go, you could do embellishments and ribbon and sequins if you wanted. You could do whatever you want. 2¼ by 6 is my panel for the DSP. I'm sticking with, okay, that does not want to come out. Let's try this one. I'm sticking with that same pattern, so it kind of is matchy-matchy. Again, heartwarming hugs in the mini catalog. And we're going to put this on my envelope flap. Give it a nice smoothing out. And, oops, I don't have my scissors out. Hold on. There we go. Now, I want to mention tomorrow night I will be live on Facebook, 7:30 Eastern Time. I'm going to be sharing a card that I did for our mystery stamping, what I did with my team earlier this month. Well, actually, October. It was October's, but a couple weeks ago. So you're not going to want to miss that. Great join special right now. For $75, you get $125 worth of product. That's going on right now. There's a really amazing sale coming next week. All those details will be in my newsletter that's going to go out later on tonight. So if you haven't joined already, make sure you go to freebies.jamieb.com and you'll get all those details. And that's a wrap for us today, everyone. How quick and easy was that? Super fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Give the curved sentiment a try. Be sure to email me your projects. I'd love to see how it comes out. And I hope to see you tomorrow night over on Facebook. Okay, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me today. And have an awesome rest of your Tuesday. Bye-bye.